Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Alien role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The scenario is called Chariots of the Gods. It was written by Andrew E.C. Gaska, and it's available from Free League Publishing. Our game mother is Tyler Hudak, and this is episode 3. Our recap will be given by Stuart Lively as his character, Dr. Flynn Powell. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Stuart.
Thank you, Tom. Dr. Flynn Powell, operating license MA0332. Commissioned year 2110, assistant medical chief and researcher, USCSS Cronus. Our Wayland-Yutani scientific mission had a survey crew of 17. And we were sent to LV 1113, planetoid in the 26 Dracona system. Acting on information the company had received, our mission was to travel to the planet and collect samples of an extraterrestrial chemical known as chemical agent A03959X. We noted life on the planetoid was unusually aggressive, potentially from exposure to the chemical, but we were not able to prove that hypothesis. The research team spent some time experimenting with the chemical, which I had limited access to. Later, we found that spores released in the air had a high chance, if breathed in, to mutate rapidly within the host, leading to a lethal blood-bursting process of giving birth to a horrific creature. Fortunately, these creatures were contained to LV 1113, or in the science module of the ship. We unfortunately had to eject that module after takeoff as the infection spread rapidly within it before we could finish the creation of a vaccine to stop the infection. I helped administer that vaccine to the remainder of our crew, but unfortunately, we're not quick enough, as about half of the remaining crew eventually became extremely violent and, in one case, gave birth to another of these bloodbursters. The remaining 5 crew members, myself included, decided the best course of action was to lock ourselves in the cryo chambers, lock the room, and leave the ship's synthetic, Ava, to maintain the ship until it arrived home and could receive assistance. 2183, 73 years later, my surviving crew and I were revived from our cryo chambers by the rescuing crew of the USCSS Montero. Captain Augustine, Pilot Joe Landry, Corporate Rep Harker, and Roughneck Tech Coleman. We learned from them that one of their own crew was murdered by something on board our ship. Dear God, is it starting all over again? Shortly after, one of my crewmates, Cooper, had a bloodburster erupt, tearing from his head. Thank all that's holy, Joe Landry quickly drew her sidearm and put several rounds into it, ending its terrible life. We managed to secure the last of the vaccine. Knowing we need to escape back to the Montero, we were all horrified to hear that self-destruct sequence initiate on board the Montero. What the hell is happening?
All right. Before we get started, just to let everybody know, with the Alien role-playing game and cinematic scenarios, like with what we're doing, you go through what's called acts. And in between each act, if you have acted out what each of your agendas is, which everybody has an agenda, nobody else knows what your agenda is. And if I feel that you've acted out your agenda well enough in the previous act, you get a story point. And so everybody has done that. And so you all get a story point. The story point can be used at any time to give yourself a success on any type of skill roll, combat roll, and so on. So where we left was everybody was in the med lab. You had all gathered there to get the vaccine. That's where the vaccine had been left by the crew of the Cronus. And as you were going in there, the place was a disaster. If you recall, there are 2 of the appalling med pods in there. One was basically the plexiglass in it had been exploded out as if something burst from it. The other one was intact, but the inside is covered in blood. You can't see in it. There are specimen jars, some of which are floating, some of those blood bursters that you had seen previously. And then on the, as well as in one specimen jar, there was some of those fungal nodes that you have seen throughout the ship contained within one of those. You found the vaccine as well as a very large metallic urn. And Reed, the colonial marine from the Cronus, had picked it up. You were going to take it to some deep freeze refrigerators within the science lab, which is just down the hall. Herb, as well as I think Dr. Powell, you were also going. You all started to leave to go there when the message from Mother on the Montero came through your headset stating that there was a displacement drive malfunction, that the reactor was going to overload and explode within 10 minutes. And so that is where we're at. However, before we start the action, see here, Captain Augustine, Joe, Herb, and Ernest. If I remember correctly, you are all still wearing your space suits.
Yes.
Please make an air supply roll. So if you recall on your character sheet, you should be tracking how much air you have in there. Roll that many stress dice, and for every one that comes up, you reduce your air supply by that many.
No ones.
Awesome.
All good.
All right.
No ones.
No ones. All right. Everybody's doing so good so far.
Okay. The second that message comes through, I say, Coleman, come with me. And I say to the other ones, stay here. And we're going to run. We're going to have to run to J2, go up, get in, go through the umbilical, get into our ship. And we got to see if we can stop this failure.
Okay. It's going to take you if going full speed, it's going to take you about a minute to get over there, get up. I won't make you roll for mobility or anything like that, but it's going to take you about a minute to do that. As they are doing that, the rest of you as well. And just to recap as well, there are four NPCs from the Cronus that are with you. They are Johns, who is the second in command of the Cronus. There is Clayton, who is the company agent, who did not get along with Harker. There is Reed, the colonial the colonial marine, and then obviously Dr. Flynn. So, as they are running through the ship to get back to the Montero, what is everybody else doing?
I believe there was some talk about going to the science labs, Powell. It's right here, correct? Just across the halls.
Yeah, it should be.
I don't want to stray too far, but I think it's just right across the hallway.
Okay. It's right across the hallway. You basically just go down the hallway and make a left. There are two science labs, one of which is give me 1 second here. There's two science labs. One we'll just say is on the right side of the hall, and one's on the left side of the hall. Both doors are closed, but they appear operational. Which one would you like to go into?
Is there like a window? I just want to make sure.
There would be like a little window that you can look in. The one on the left, actually both of them, they just look like they've both been trashed. The one on the left is the one with the deep cold freezers. As you kind of peer into the into the window, you can see that the deep freezers the glass doors on them have basically been smashed. There you see more of these urns within that freezer. All of them except for one has been, it looks to be intact. Another one, it looks like it was shattered, and there is black goo all over the floor, as well as all those fungal nodes all over, growing out of the urns, out of the black goo that's on the floor, all over the floor, and so on. You also see a number of bones kind of piled in a corner. It looks like human bones, but there's a couple others that just don't look right. And then you, Joe, you're the one looking into this one. You can see a key card that's also kind of sitting half submerged in some of this goo on the floor. Who's looking at the one on the right?
I was in the rear because I wanted to keep an eye on Clayton. So
okay.
Yeah, we were moving with the marine with the canister.
Yeah, she's carrying the urn.
Okay, so I'll be looking for the freezer area to get that in. That needs to be properly stored. If that's really concerning, though, that the other containers are smashed. That's really, really bad.
Yeah, what is this black goo here, Powell? I mean, should we not touch it? Is that some kind of contaminant?
Yeah, I would stay out of that room right now. I mean, we need that could be from where some of the contamination came from.
It looks like your synthetic did not follow whatever protocols you gave it after you were frozen and popped open your surprise boxes.
Yeah,
how's the right room look?
So peering into the right room, you can see that it is a charred shell of a room. Whatever happened here happened very quickly and probably with some type of explosive or flame, because there is debris everywhere. You can see this burnt out partial remains of like a metallic drum in the center of the room, and everything else around it is just blackened and so on. You do see one body in there. It's even looking through the window, you can tell it's not quite human. It's kind of hard to see because the window to the door is kind of fogged up from the carbon scarring from whatever fire happened in there, but you can tell that there's some body in there. Let me rephrase that. There is a body in there that just looks a little bit off from what you can see. Now, as it takes about a minute to look at all that. Every 30 seconds, you hear Mother appear or talk through the headsets in counting down another 30 seconds. So Captain Paul and Herb, by the time you get to the umbilical and reach over into the Montero, 1 minute has passed. Mother tells you 9 minutes until destruction.
Do we see any evidence that anybody has crossed back into our ship?
No, not that you could see. No.
Captain, do you think that the creature that caused our first casualty is responsible for this, or is there another explanation for the imminent destruction?
I don't see any evidence that anybody's crossed back into our ship. I'm guessing now that because of these, and I'm saying all this while I'm running, all of this top secret bullshit that their ship was doing, they may have had a booby trap trigger mechanism that when we tried to download all of their data into our computer, it overrode something. That's sabotage. We already have a salvage claim on their ship. We're going to make oodles of money off of this when we get back.
If we get back, is there some way that we can direct Mother to bring her data over to this vessel? In that, should it be the case that you cannot stop the Montero's destruction?
Ours is a far newer model.
Yeah,
it's more sophisticated. I'm going to try to pull the drums so that that our ship, there's nothing to blow up. It shuts itself down. It'll cost us a little bit of time when we try to get it restarted, but
So just to be clear, when Mother is telling you a fission reactor overload in so many minutes, that means your ship is going to explode.
Unless we can shut it down.
Unless you can somehow shut it down, yes.
That's what we're going to try to do.
Okay. So the Montero, a fairly small ship. As you come over on the umbilical, there, really aren't many places you can go. You could go to the bridge. There's a specific room for Mother that Captain you are able to access. There is the reactor core. What would you like to do?
So would I know where I need to go in this situation and what to do?
Yeah, you know, so you know that if you can get to the reactor controls, which you can access from the bridge, or actually, there are multiple computer panels around the Montero. You could access it from there, and then you can try to diagnose what is going on and why the reactor is doing what it's doing.
Okay, I'm probably hitting the first panel that we would come to just to see what exactly is happening.
Okay, go ahead and give me a ComTech roll.
Okay.
Remember, for skill rolls, it's going to be your ComTech plus the associated stat with that, plus any stress dice you have.
Okay. That's a whole lot of dice. What I'm good at. I got 2 6s on regular dice, a 6 on stress dice, and here's the bad news: a 1 on a stress dice.
All right. So you still may have succeeded. So go ahead and roll a panic. So basically, you're going to roll a d6 and add the number of stress that you have.
6 total.
All right. So you managed to keep your nerves in check, but just barely. So you made your comm check roll. You have 2 extra successes out of the one that you needed. And so if you recall, when you get extra successes, you get to do what's called stunts. With your contact roll, this could be a +1 to a later roll. No need to roll again for the exact situation, which may or may not occur. Whatever you're trying to do happens in half the unusual time. You get new or unexpected information. You hide all traces of your action, or you just kind of show off what you're doing. You get to choose 2 of those.
I'm going to do the half the usual time because we need all the time we can get. And I think I'm going to take a future success.
Okay. So, it's not a future success. It's a +1 additional.
That's right. Yeah.
So just kind of note that down. So you get on a future ComTech roll, you get a +1 die. So you jump onto the panel. We'll say that there's a panel right as you cross over. That would make sense. That would be one right next to the gates or the umbilical. Captain Paul, are you staying right with him as he does this?
If he's going to try to access it that way, I'm going to try to run to Mother.
Okay, so you start running to Mother. It's going to take you about 15, 20 seconds to get there. Herb, as you're doing this, you have implanted either like a back door or something that you can do in order to just kind of speed things up. There are your own special modifications to diagnose the reactor because you have to do this every once in a while. You do find that the control system confirms that the destruction of the ship cannot be stopped. It is something, an overload that is occurring, that there's no way to reverse it. Additionally, you also find some information that it appears that this countdown, this destruction, appears to have been triggered intentionally. It doesn't tell you how, but that's what you're seeing.
Okay, well, I think, go ahead.
Nope. Go on. Sorry.
Okay. I think if I can, I'll open just a direct comm to the captain because I don't want a lot of chatter from anybody else. Okay. And I say, listen, boss, we aren't stopping this. There's no way we can stop this.
You're sure?
And
you're sure?
I am 100% positive. And whatever happened, I don't know what happened. It was done intentionally.
It was done intentionally. It was done by their fucking computer. All right. Get back on their ship. I'll be there in a minute.
You got it.
Okay. So as this is going on, 30 seconds have passed. So it's an 8-minute, Mother tells everyone 8 minutes and 30 seconds till reactor overload. The rest of you, you're kind of sitting outside the med lab. You look through, like I said, the freezers in there have been, destroyed somehow. Either there was a fight in there or whatever, but you're not going to be able to put you can still put the urn in there, but you're going to have to walk through that black goo, and the deep freezers are malfunctioning right now. As this is going on, Johns is getting really impatient. He looks over at Joe and Ernest and says, "What is going on? We can't hear what's going on. What is happening over there? Is your ship going to explode?"
Parker?
To the best of our knowledge, we're all going to be staying on your vessel until repairs are made. Fingers crossed. But my understanding is that the overload we're not going to be able to stop it before it's critical. In the meantime, since your deep freeze is lost, Dr. Powell, and obviously that urn is some kind of contaminant, is there a regular refrigerator or a regular freezer, or should we put it in one of the human popsicle boxes so as to add to the bio waste overload that we're already dealing with?
I don't know if we have enough. The cryo chambers might not be good to infect one. I'm not sure how many of those are operational still, but if we end up getting stranded on the ship, we might really need those cryo chambers for our own survival.
Well, if this thing is a contaminant, why don't we go shuffle as much of this as we can over to the other ship? Let it blow up with the damn ship.
It's not like we can take a snow shuffle to the pile of slime and mold in that room.
That's true. You're right.
I mean, I'd love to put all the suits on and zero-G this entire vessel, but I don't think that's going to be practicable.
How long do we have? I mean, trying to get these canisters over there is no quick task.
We're
under 8 minutes by the time we finish this conversation.
We need to distance ourselves. So if that fusion core goes, it could tear a hole in the side of our ship, of the Cronin.
Right.
I'm going to open up comms with Captain Cap. I think we need to put some space between us and Montero.
I got that handled. Don't worry about it.
Okay. You coming back?
Of course I'm coming back.
All right.
And
only Parker in charge. Jesus.
As you're saying this, Johns and Clayton, they're both getting very impatient and, kind of screaming, basically saying the same things to you that, if your ship's going to explode, we need to get out of here. You need to get that ship as far away as possible. Our ship is still malfunctioning. You can't, we have no engines.
We understand that. The calmer you can be and the more information you can give us, the better, because what's happening to the Montero is not because of our error. It's because of something that happened on this ship. Now, has everybody gotten a suit now? Because we should prioritize everybody getting a suit on.
Getting a suit.
Some extra suits.
There were actually. That's the one thing I don't recall. I don't think any of the NPCs put on suits, unless Dr. Powell, you put one on.
We were in the middle of getting the person who exploded into a suit.
Right. We have the suit that Cooper didn't quite get to wear, and we were getting suits because they were near the labs.
Yeah,
so what I'm going to recommend now is that everybody get as much protection as they can on.
I don't want the suit with the brain splattered all over it, though.
There were 3 suits in the.
Cooper barely had his booties on. That suit was not contaminated.
I believe in the examination room there were 3 suits that you found. They were older models, but they were intact, which is on the floor above, right outside the cryo chambers.
We can just leave this jar here. As far as I'm concerned, this whole area is hopelessly contaminated. Let's just get everybody suited up so that we can start cleaning things out. Coleman needs to go back to flamethrowing every surface he can. As soon as we're not going to be in the thermoblast.
We should probably try to get to the bridge. If we need to make a move quickly, I need to access the system and see, as soon as Captain and Herb get over here, if we needed to move.
Well, for that matter, we need to get the reactor up and running, and we're
Yeah,
not sending anybody down there alone. Although I assume it was the head crusher that crossed over and set Mother on fire. Although maybe it was digital.
Did anyone get a good look at the head crusher?
I mean, yeah.
It
but
was on cam. It was a burnt out
Didn't live very
husk of a
long.
suit that.
Do you have any footage to show me? I can identify Ava, and I proceed to describe what Ava looked like to the rest of the crew as best as I could.
Yeah, no, you describe a slender 20-year-old looking woman as what Ava looked like, and that is definitely not what everybody had seen on cam. So jumping back to the captain and her, Captain, what you sent her back? What else are you doing?
All right. So what I'm going to do is, if there's a way to manually override everything, first of all, if there are like key memory cores to Mother, like where she basically stores stuff that I can grab, I'm going to take those with me. But I'm also going to set manually that in 3 minutes, the ship will move 500 feet away and then go to light speed.
Okay. All
So
right.
that it's gone.
All right.
And then I'm going to run back and go through the umbilical.
So the first thing, in order to, there are memory cores that you could grab, but that is not a quick process. It's not like you can just run in and grab a USB drive that was sitting on the desk. You have to disassemble Mother. You have to shut her down, and if you do that, you're also going to shut down the autopilot capabilities. Additionally, in order to start the pilot, the autopilot, it has to go a certain distance with you know what? No, you can do that. You can set it to go, but it's going to be something where you have to do it from here. You can't do it from the Cronus.
I would have to fly it away.
At least a certain distance, and then to kind of get it going, and then you would have to get off at that point. Remember too, there is Daisy, the like ship loader that's in the ship as well. You can technically use that to fly off of the ship.
Okay. So I will don't have time then to get memory. I wanted evidence that she'd been infected with some sort of virus. All right, so I will break the umbilical. I'll set her to start moving. I'll get her to a certain distance. All the while, I'm going to be transmitting a message to Wayland, telling them as much information as I can about the situation and where our current location is.
Okay. Are you going to do this from the bridge? Are you going to do it from? I'll be nice to say that down where Daisy is in the cargo load, there is a terminal there that you could start to do that from.
So I'll do it from down there. I'll run down there.
Now, Herb, you ran across the umbilical. What are you doing?
So I would assume that I would know that Captain has to take Daisy. Like, I'm not going to wait at the umbilical, because Captain's not coming. So I guess I cross the umbilical, I detach it from the Cronus end, pull a lever or whatever to detach it. Do that part.
Coleman, we had to cut a hole through the door. You need to weld something over that hole.
That's right. I do have the torch. So yeah, I am, or the cutter. So I'm looking for anything I can put over there to weld over where they had to cut in.
So, all right. So let me see if I'm understanding. So so you closed I assume you closed the doors on the Montero side.
Right. Yeah.
You go over to the Cronus. and you want to start welding something into the door, I'll say you can shut the door, but only there's about a foot gap. But it's a door that's probably 7 feet tall. There's nothing really around you that you could use to do that.
So is there a secondary door I can go through and close off so that whenever
there is an inner door there. The issue is once you detach the umbilical, it's going to cause a pressure leak where you're at.
Okay.
Now where you're at, if in the chamber that you're in, you should be able to close the door fast enough, but it's going to that you're going to start to get sucked out through that area, so you're going to have to hold on pretty tight.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to find just anything like netting or anything attached to the wall that I can kind of wrap an arm in.
Okay.
That way, whenever the suction happens, I have a hold on something.
Okay. So you go and you decouple the umbilical cord or the umbilical tunnel between the two ships. As soon as that happens, you can just hear the air being sucked out. You do have hold of something, but go ahead and give me a strength roll, just a straight strength roll.
Okay.
As well as any stress dice you have.
Okay, I got a 6 on regular dice and a 6 on stress. No ones on stress dice.
Perfect. You are able to hold on pretty well. It's kind of hard. You can feel yourself being pulled. Your boots are not magnetic, so they're sliding towards the door into outer space. You can hear the air just being whipped out behind you. Actually, everybody in the Cronus can also kind of hear this, in the distance, this like sucking of air, vacuum going into the vacuum of space. But Herb, you are able to hit the button to close the inner doors, and as soon as that happens, you just kind of fall to the ground a little bit. The pressure kind of going back. 7 minutes or 7 minutes left. Captain, what are you doing?
Okay, so I'm going to get a safe distance away, and I'm going to, like I said, I'm sending a message to Wayland, and then I'm going to set the ship for light speed to get it far away. But just as I set that, I'm going to jump into Daisy and launch into space.
All right. So you go to make the set the ship to do the autopilot. You've already started sending your message. Right. You go to set the ship to go autopilot. Go ahead and give me a piloting roll at -2. So take away 2 dice from whatever you would normally use for piloting. So piloting plus whatever the attribute for that is, plus your stress die.
Piloting -2 is 0.
You always get at least 1 plus your stress die.
And what's your agility?
I forgot about agility.
Yeah. So just then, if your piloting is 0, then it would just be your agility plus stress die -2 regular die.
Plus my stress die. That's 3 and 3. No 6s at all.
All right. As long as no 1s.
No 1s.
Okay, so you go, you pilot, you set the autopilot, you think you've set it right, and then you jump into Daisy. You're down to 6 minutes left. Are you going to? So you're going to jump into Daisy. It would be very easy for you to. The good point. You do have the story point if you want to use it. I'm not saying you have to, but just reminding you've got it. But you jump into Daisy and open the cargo hold and start to go. Daisy is very slow,
right.
But she is reliable and she starts to go out. As this is going on, what the rest of you were heading down to go get the. It sounded like some of you were going to get suits on for all of the people from the Cronus. Joe, it sounded like you were going to head up to the bridge. Is that right?
Yes, honestly, yeah. I know that thing might be on the ship, but we need to put space between the two ships as well. That's a big priority. So I'm running for the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah, captain's on that though. Don't we need I don't think anybody should be alone, and I think we need to figure out the power source. But and the first thing is that the unsuited have to get suited. But I guess we can. We don't need you for that. Maybe. Oh no! Yeah. Well,
Herb, Joe, can you figure out a place where I can dock?
I was going to say, yeah, I'd be heading to wherever Daisy would most likely be coming in. I assume the cargo bay.
So yeah, okay. So those who are going to get the suits, you are able to do that without an issue. Again, those are in the examination room, right behind the cryo lab. Joe, you are running towards the bridge, which is on deck B. It's going to take you about a minute to get up there. Herb, you're on deck A. You wanted to go to where this needs to go.
Yeah,
right.
Whatever. I assume a cargo bay, which I guess is on C, one of the two cargo bays.
It's actually on deck D.
D, okay.
It's on the very lowest deck. And remember, this is also the last place that thing was seen.
Yeah.
So but it's going to take you about a minute or so in order to get down to the cargo deck.
I do have a shotgun at least, so at least I feel better having a firearm of some sort.
All right. And anyone's going? Oh no, you're not near me. Sorry.
Well, I would probably hit all comms and be like, I'm heading down to D. Captain's in Daisy. I got to get a shuttle open or a bay open.
Yeah.
So are one of you going to go with him? Maybe Ernest or Joe or
I've already taken off the bridge. If you
Joe's
can't
off
get
to
it
the
down.
bridge. Once the Kronos passengers have achieved some degree of suiting, yeah, I'm happy to go down to D. I'm trusting Maureen Reed to keep my predecessor out of trouble. Might be a good idea to figure out a protocol between the three of you members of the Kronos team about, the ship better than we do. We need to clear it area by area of this infection. If you could purge that lab from outside for one thing, Powell, that would be a good start.
Yeah, well, it looks like one lab has been already incinerated. The next one would need to be, I don't know, do we still have access to systems that might sterilize the lab? The other one, the lab to the left?
Not really, no.
You still have a power problem.
Yeah, you still. So the Kronos does have most of its power. It brought up life support. It brought up lights, heat, everything like that. You don't know the extent of the damage yet. Nobody has actually taken the time to kind of do the diagnostics to figure out exactly what you need to do still.
All right. Well, right now it looks like we don't really have facilities or power to do that quite yet. Is there can I find a fire axe, like a little fire station dotted about ever so often? So at least I could have, instead of a clumsy pole, like a little fire axe.
Yeah, I would say, there's definitely going to be a fire axe somewhere along the way that you can grab.
Excellent.
All right. So, Joe, you get up to the bridge. After you finally get in, you see a number of things. First off, there's the power has kind of illuminated everything. The lights are on, so it's very easy to see everything. The blast shutters are lowered, so you cannot see out. What you do see, though, is the command station, which is where the captain would normally sit. seems to be intact. There is a glass panel on it that would normally house the emergency access key for mother. That glass panel has been shattered, and that key is gone. There's normally a holographic display table, and you're basically seeing this as you run in. This is a pretty standard layout. There was a holographic display table that was once very popular in these. That table is completely burnt out by some type of fire that happened within the bridge, and you can see that there is fire damage all over. There are two. There's a sensor station that is used for like the comms array and things like that. That is also damaged and doesn't appear to be functioning. And there are two piloting stations. One, somebody has taken an axe to and has completely destroyed it. The second one looks like it's not damaged in that there's no apparent physical damage, but from looking at it, you can tell it's also not powered on.
Great. So my objective here is to get the loading bay wherever captain's coming in, get that prepped if it needs to be opened, whatever. And then as soon as he's there, put some distance if we can. Is that something that I could accomplish?
You can.
Okay.
You do know that, and actually all of you would know this, that in order for that to happen, you actually need to decompress the vehicle bay. Otherwise, as soon as you open the outer doors, everything is just going to get blown out, probably including yourselves.
Okay. What do we need to do that? Yeah, I don't.
But you can do that from where you're at. Okay. You do have the controls for that.
All right. Yeah.
Now that the Kronos crew is suited, can we all communicate via channel radio?
Yeah, if you want. There's a common channel that you could do. Captain, you're in the Daisy. You're going through. There are. We'll say that another about this time, about 2 more minutes have passed. So Mother tells you 5 minutes. You can, as you leave the Montero, you can see her power up. And as you slowly start going towards the Kronos, the Daisy isn't really meant to, for high speed travel. So it moves very slowly through space. You can see that the Montero start to power up and slowly start to move away and start to gain momentum and velocity as its engines kick on and start moving away. So Herb and Ernest, you both were heading down into the cargo bay, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and I've got pistol in hand in case we have any boogems. Johns and Powell we're heading down to D. I think we found a synthetics body in the weapons bay. If you are not occupied, it might be good to verify that that's your Ava or not, and maybe secure anything that's still functional in there. And I recommend, since any one of us might start screaming at any time, that we keep at least one line channel open.
Agreed. Clayton, are you guys able to do that? I was hoping maybe heading up to the bridge with Joe, so there could be a pair of us there as well. Over.
So I think I'm talking to Joe. It's like, Joe, you working on decompressing the vehicle bay?
Yep, I'm on it, Coleman. I'm on it. Just, hold still.
All right.
So the two of you, where are you going to go for there? In order to decompress it, remember that deck C, there's a catwalk over that. Deck D is the entire vehicle bay. You're not going to be able to be in there as it's being decompressed. You could, because it's going to happen slowly, but I guess, you could, because it would happen. So is that where you want to be? Do you want to be on the catwalk? Do you want to be actually in the vehicle bay? Where do you want to go?
Tell me, Coleman, where do you hang out when these things vac?
I mean, I think it probably doesn't matter between the catwalk and the vehicle bay. You know, we could get sucked out from either place. So, I mean, we're heading on. I mean, I think we should head on down to the vehicle bay. That way we're there ready when our captain brings her in.
As long as it's a place where, a proper sort of set of handholds.
I mean, yeah, have enough open space around us in case, that thing decides to show back up again.
Yeah. We don't really have an idea of what's loose down there. So we should also make sure we don't get hit in the head with something that gets pulled out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, Joe, I think Joe's already started the decompression. So we should, as long as that goes well, nothing ideally should go flying around too fast on us. So,
right. Unless it's maybe the head crusher.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm going to patch into just my crew. And I'm going to say, listen, folks, according to Three World Empire law, that fucking ship is ours now. I don't give a fuck about their crew. As far as I'm concerned, they're all expendable, but we've lost one of our crew. We've lost our ship. We've lost everything to this fucking ship.
We've lost our cargo. I had some fairly important personal items, frankly.
That's our ship now. Just, and I don't think that the Three World Empire is going to argue with us at all. When we get back, we're going to have not only salvage rights, but they have to pay us for all of our losses at this point.
Once you're in here and tucked away, boss, I'm going to get started on getting the air scrubbers going.
I should be there in just a few minutes, and use them, but keep yourself safe.
Yeah, I got the shotgun. We're ready to receive you when you're here.
And Captain, does the Montero look like we're going to have distance, or should we expect
Montero is going to be launching to light speed in just a couple seconds? It'll be gone before.
Good work, Captain.
Before it explodes.
Oh, thank God.
All right. So as this is going on, Joe, you start to decompress the vehicle bay or the cargo bay. Mm-hmm. Herb and Ernest, you're in your suits. All of you, all four of you, give me another air supply roll as you're doing this.
Hang tight, guys. It's going to be just a second here.
No ones.
A single one. So I'm reduced by an hour.
I lost another one too.
Yep. All right. And Captain Paul roll as well. The cargo bay decompresses. Herb and Ernest, you can kind of hear and feel the decompression happen. It takes about a minute, so there's 4 minutes left. Captain Paul is about halfway to the Montero. Not the Montero. The Cronus to the cargo bay. It takes a little bit to kind of maneuver around everything in order to get to the back of the ship in order to access it. Joe, after it's decompressed, what do you want to do?
As soon as Cap secured and Coleman and Harker say that we're good, I'm going to seal it all back up and at least start getting stuff powered on so we can at least get moving. I know Captain said it's going to take off to light speed, but at least get the whole ship turned on, like ready to move anyway, because we're going to have to get out of here soon.
Right. But are you opening the doors? You decompressed it. The doors are closed.
I apologize. Right. Yes. Yeah. Opening the doors, letting Captain in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you go to open the doors and all of a sudden a red error message pops up on the screen. And Herb and Ernest, as you're down there, you can see that the cargo doors, they start to open and then they stop. And then, it goes again, it gets maybe a foot or so open. You can see just the space outside. And then you can see it's just locking up. It looks like there's something wrong with the mechanism to open up the door.
Fuck.
I'm getting any kind of error code, something like that. Door malfunction is what it's telling you.
Yeah. Radio up to Joe, door stuck. I'm gonna have to try to manually release it, I guess, down here.
Is that our only option? I suppose, just like a manual release.
How stuck?
I mean, it's like, if you come through, you're shaving off most of that ship.
How big is the opening?
About a foot.
You're not getting through there, Cap.
We don't want to lose Daisy if we can get her in. Coleman, let's just Joe, you don't have any diagnostics up there?
Just an error. That's all I'm getting.
Yeah.
Is this on just your channel or is this on the group channel?
Probably on just ours.
We probably started with ours.
Also, apropos, probably to all my running around and my stress, I just lost 2 on the air.
Okay. How many do you have left?
I've got 2 left.
Okay.
So what I know, I spend my entire time in cargo bays. I assume I would know a way to manually release a door. So
Yeah,
a lever.
Yeah, so you know how to go in and do it. It's going to be a heavy machinery roll in order for you to try and fix it.
Well, I turn around. I'm like,
Can you
Harker,
assist at all? Anything I can do?
well, you can hold this shotgun
All right.
and watch my back. And then I head over to the crank or whatever.
Okay.
Brace
Go ahead
against
and
the
roll.
ladder.
Captain Paul, you are slowly, getting there. You're about 3/4 of the way. And just to describe what Daisy looks like, it's basically like this huge flatbed loader ship where you've got this little room essentially with the control panels that allows you to control the pilot the ship. It's very slow and it's freezing in there because it's not meant to be going through space for the most part. Herb, how did you do?
So on heavy machinery, I got 2 6s on regular dice, no 1s.
Awesome. So heavy machinery, you also get a stunt. So again, this is the same as before, +1 to a later roll half the time. You can show off, act quietly, break it if you want, or I'll say it says break it permanently. I'll even say fix it permanently.
That one.
Okay.
That one. Yeah.
So you get over there. You've seen this before. It happens all the time. It's a quick fix, and so you're able to get that door right as Mother says 3 minutes and counting. Captain Paul, you start kind of going around, getting to the back of the ship as it starts to open. Joe, I apologize. What did you say that you were doing?
As soon as he's safely inside, confirmed by Coleman and Harker, tighten everything up, button up, and start moving the ship. Not necessarily in a big hurry, since the captain says that he's sent it off, but it does need to get moving at some point anyway. So
okay, Captain, Dr. Flynn, you've been kind of wandering around as this. You were making your way up to the bridge. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Now that I've got this here. I want to basically pair off, not have people left by themselves. So
okay,
I want to make my way to the bridge so I can, have Joe Landry's back on the bridge secured.
Okay. So Johns Reed and Clayton will follow you if that's to there, unless you want them to go someplace else.
Oh, okay. I thought we were asking them to go on as Ernest Harker had suggested on the separate mission. But
yeah, he asked them. Clayton especially is ignoring him.
Oh, okay. Well, I have no jurisdiction over Clayton, so I'll just simply go to the bridge and guard the door to the bridge.
Okay. The entire way that you're going up there, Johns and Clayton are arguing back and forth. She's basically berating him for not taking control, and he is just half taking it. Every once in a while, he'll kind of shoot her a look. But that this is kind of how Johns is. You honestly don't know how he became second in charge of the ship, because he's basically a pushover. He doesn't want to be doing this job. And so you think that there's some story behind that. Reed, as you're going through, she's kind of in the lead, clearing the hallways and the rooms as you're going through. So you make it up to the bridge. As you get up to the bridge, you see Joe sitting in the command chair, doing all these things to get everything open. Captain, as you start to get to the back of the ship, Herb and Ernest, you can see Daisy slowly start to get in with 2 minutes left. Captain, as you are going in, you look over to where the Montero is, and it is not as far away as you expected it to be. And you realize that somehow you set up the autopilot, but kicking it into FTL either did not happen when you did the autopilot, or the FTL is not working. So it is much closer than it should be. You're not sure you are at a safe distance. Give me a piloting roll as you pilot into the cargo bay. So piloting, I think, plus agility, plus stress.
I got no successes on my regular dice, and I got one stress dice, 1.
All right. So go ahead and roll a d6 and add your stress to it, and let me know what you get.
Add my current stress to it.
Yes.
9.
Oh, 9. Okay. So you drop an item, whether by stress, confusion, or the realization that you're all going to die anyways. You drop a weapon or other important item. The GM decides which one. Your stress level increases by 1. So your stress goes up by 1. Through what happens is, as you are piloting into the cargo bay, you're very concerned about the Montero, it not being far enough away. You're not paying as much attention to the maneuvering you need to. And Herb and Ernest, you see this as well. And Joe, there's probably actually everybody up on the bridge. There's going to be some cameras that are kind of pointed down in there. You basically clip the side of the Cronus as you're coming in, the cargo door. That causes Daisy to start to, as it's going in, it starts to turn and start hitting the sides. It's very hard to control. As this is happening, the pistol that you have, gets knocked out of however you were carrying it and dropped to the floor and kind of goes skittering off somewhere outside of the Daisy. But
the door.
Right out the door. Herb, you are able to, you were off in the side. You saw this coming. Ernest, you see this too. I think, Ernest, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were on the catwalk, right? You're on mute.
I think I came down to try to help with the door.
So you both see this and are able to dive out of the way. Captain Paul, you basically are not able to stop in time. Daisy goes careening into the wall, and you take a point of damage from being thrown. Actually, you know what? Give me an agility roll. Just a straight agility roll, no stress. We'll see if you take damage or not.
Joe, Captain's inside the bay.
1-6, cool.
Crank the doors.
You are able to. You get thrown around, but you come out okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear Ernest and Joe what you were saying.
Button up. We're moving.
Okay, so
I was telling you to close the door, and I'm looking for a fire extinguisher for when there's air in here again.
Yeah, so you start, Joe. You start to close the door.
I call out to everybody that the Montero didn't go to light speed.
Joe, you go to kick on the engines, and a big error message comes on that says engines are offline and require repairs.
Is there anything I can do to at least start moving something? I don't know.
You start frantically looking around for anything you can do, and the realization sets into you that there is nothing that you can do right now.
Okay.
The ship is not moving.
Am I hearing any of this?
Yeah, I'm going to say it now.
Okay.
Engines down. We're not going anywhere.
Okay. So we're basically dead in space. So all we need to do is get Daisy back out there and start pushing the ship away. We can use Daisy's thrusters. We're dead in space. We're weightless, essentially. I mean, we may in an atmosphere.
Daisy's a
work.
small cargo ship. It's not capable of pulling or pushing.
We also probably have about 90 seconds before it goes critical.
And Daisy, you the three of you down there can see Daisy is damaged from that crash landing.
Right.
At least one of the engines is knocked out. It's going to require repairs.
Right. Daisy's going nowhere.
Okay. The question is, how much can we batten down so that we take the blast from the Montero and just roll through space?
It's going to be luck, because if a big chunk of the Montero heads straight for us.
Oh, does the Kronos have a Daisy?
No.
Oh, okay.
With that, Mother chimes in to the headset. 60 seconds.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, there's nothing.
Secure yourselves.
Everybody
strap in tight.
Yourself,
strap in tight.
Right.
Yep.
Say a prayer to whatever God you got.
So the Mother hits 30 seconds and starts counting down 30, 29, 28. Everybody is trying to strap themselves in as the countdown goes down, getting closer and closer to 1. The three Reed, Johns, and Clayton, they are strapping themselves into whatever chairs that they can find in the bridge, and you all just start to brace yourself. Mother hits 10, 9, 8. Everybody again is really just beginning to get very nervous and antsy, and in fact, you all gain a stress from this. She gets to 3, 2, 1. You don't hear anything. And then all of a sudden, the ship just starts to shake uncontrollably. You can feel it start to tilt on its side and starts to roll and pitch. Those in the bridge, warning and error messages start going off all over the bridge. The other three of you who are down in the cargo bay, the lights start flashing. It goes from the normal white lights to red flashing lights. You can hear explosions happening from within the ship in multiple areas. Everybody give me a agility roll. Just a straight agility roll.
Is that with stress dice?
In this case, yes. This would be with stress dice. I'll let you do that.
Stress dice, then I got regular dice.
No.
I got a 6 on all 3 of my stress dice, and then a 6 on a regular dice.
All right.
I got 1 6.
3 6s.
No ones.
I got 1 1 on a regular dice.
Okay, that's fine.
Got a 6.
I got no. Go ahead.
Oh, a 6 on an agility die, and a 1 1 on the stress die.
Okay. And Ernest, how did you do?
0 6s and 1 1 stress.
Okay, so Dr. Flynn and Ernest, both of you make panic rolls. So again, roll a d6, add your current stress to it. The rest of you who got successes, you are fine. You are strapped in well enough.
My total is 6.
6 and 6. All right. So both of you, you're able to just barely keep it together. Dr. Flynn, you got 1 success, correct?
Yeah, I had 1 success.
So you are okay. Ernest, you got 0 successes. So, as you just didn't quite strap yourself in, and some debris just goes flying, hits you right in the shoulder, and you take a point of damage. After a minute or two, the ship finally starts to settle. The kind of the klaxon warning horn is still going off, but the ship seems to have settled a little bit. You all seem to have survived so far. Up in the bridge, you can see on the command panel a kind of map of the ship, and it shows red areas all over the ship, a number of rooms that have experienced explosive decompression, where they have been penetrated from the outside. Now, the ship it automatically locks down that room. So looking around, there is. If you would look on, if you have maps available, and I will make sure that I note this too. Vestibule 1 on deck B, which is the armory, has been is completely locked down. The med lab is locked down. On deck A, the right off of the cryo room, the showers and wardrobe, that has been locked down. And cargo bay 1 on deck C has been locked down. All of those have experienced explosive decompression. It is possible to open them back up if you force Mother to open the room, but obviously that could cause issues within the rest of the ship, or you can try to externally repair it. Now, as everything kind of settles down for a minute, everybody is slowly, kind of starting to regather themselves. And what I will do is say that you all are able to take about 5 to 10 minutes to just kind of regather yourself. This is one way that you can reduce stress. So everybody except for Joe reduces stress by 1. Joe knows why she did not reduce stress.
If I have that available, though, can I, with my...
Yes, you can if you want.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
So this is just one way that you can reduce stress. If you are in a safe place, you can kind of spend 5 to 10 minutes just kind of resting. Again, it has to be in a safe place, and you can reduce 1 level of stress. Remember, you all also have your signature items that you can interact with and reduce stress by 1 level as well.
Now, my stress item is my hypo spray from my med kit. Can I use that and treat Ernest for his injuries?
Yeah, you can, absolutely. You'll do a medical aid roll on him, and that will give you a +1 to the roll. I think it's a +1. Let me. So as you're kind of wandering there, I will check on that. The rest of you, so actually those down in the cargo bay, what are you doing?
I'd probably go and get the shotgun back from Harker.
I'm sure I've got a weapon. Yeah. And again, I'm sure we've got some small fires to put out down here as oxygen is pumped back into the cargo bay.
Yes, we probably work on that.
We're going to need to do a point-to-point repair. Again, moving in teams. Now, comms only to Montero. That Clayton character is going to try to get to her escape pod and ditch us all the first chance she gets, unless she tries to kill us first.
That's not going to make much sense because we're 78 years away from any place that her escape pod could go.
Yeah, but I don't know. Making sense does not seem to have been the Kronos' métier.
That woman has secrets that she's keeping from us, even from you.
I'm sure.
I think our number 1 priority is oxygen. We've got to be able to have oxygen replenish our suits without infecting ourselves with spores.
Yeah. We've got to get any competent people down to assist in the engine room, and so we get power up, and then we can start to make the ship functional. I just don't want anybody to leave Agent Clayton alone or with the former captain. She's got to have eyes on her, or she's going to find some way to screw us up.
Well, the only thing, I don't know what damage this did to our cargo.
Do you mean the Montero's cargo?
Towing? We were towing, weren't we? So.
Oh, I think the tritium's gone. That was
actually on our ship, wasn't it?
No, it was a huge barge we were toting behind us.
Yeah. So yes, it was. There were some in your cargo bay where Daisy was, and you were also towing it behind. It is gone.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah, all our payout is now about getting this thing back in one piece.
While I'm down here, I'm also looking for, because I know I'm going to need tools to repair the air scrubbers. Yeah. So I'm gathering that while I'm down here.
I did send a message telling them our distress and that we need help. Of course, they also knew Mother would have sent them a message about the ship itself. They responded, so they know we're here. My best guess is 3 weeks before they'll get here.
Jesus, we're dead in the water right now, and we have multiple places locked down just because of breaches. And I'm going to turn to the crew of the Cronus. How many supplies do we have? Food, water. How long will that last us?
Johns looks at you and says, I don't know. We'd have to go check the mess hall. Did you look at the mess hall before you found us? No, but the oxygen will get us before the food does, but we're hoping to.
We can only have food and liquid from fully sealed containers. There's anything that could have been compromised if it's in a semi-porous.
Jesus, what the hell were you all doing? What is all of this? Because you've pulled us into your mess now, and I think we deserve to know.
Yeah.
We were sent by the same company you worked for, Utani, to investigate this chemical. That's what we were doing, and then this here. So then
the chemical that's that black crap.
The chemical that black crap is a byproduct of it.
Okay.
I get on the all comms and I'm like, is there anybody from the Cronus that can help me clear the air scrubbers? Anybody with expertise in that?
John says, well, yeah, any of us could. And he looks over to Reed and basically, asks, do you want him or Reed to help you?
Actually, I'll go help him because I've got a 4 in strength.
Because that's my number one priority now. We have to get breathable air. So I've got to head up and get working on those scrubbers and get those operating again. Or nothing else is going to matter to us.
Will those, Coleman, be functional if we don't get the primary energy online? Which is first?
They'll be functional. So looking at the panel on the bridge, Joe, you can see this. Johns kind of says this too. He says it looks like outside of the areas that were damaged in the blast, power is running at not max capacity, but it's running at somewhat normal capacity. But there are basically 3 things that need to be done in order to get the ship up and running again. First, you need to repair the comm array, which is actually going to require somebody to go outside in order to do that. You need to get the engines online, which means, doing some spacewalk and some external repairs to the engines. Normally, it would require the reactor room, but that was cleaned up previously when you were all down there before. And then finally, you also need to get the air scrubbers fixed. Otherwise, you're going to run out of air. And actually, with that, all of you give me a air supply roll.
For I noticed that the captain's panel was missing a key of some sort. What would that accomplish? What is that for?
The key, again, let me make sure that I'm telling you the right thing here.
Good on air. No ones.
Same.
Awesome.
I got a 1.
So you are down to 1, correct?
Down to 1.
All right. The key, it's an emergency access key to Mother.
Okay. Got it.
Well, I get on the line, Herb. When you're cleaning the air filter system Now, I give him a full description of what the fungus looks like that I'm familiar with it looking like.
Oh yeah, we got some of those in there. I'll torch them while I'm in there. I mean, will that work?
From our understanding, yes, but definitely. If you see it, then it might be much more spread in that vicinity. So it's worth a much closer look if you see it.
I mean, well, let me take one of your crew that's more familiar with it. That way they can point out what we need to torch and whatnot.
Actually, that might be me. I might be the best person qualified in our crew for that. I'll head down if you don't mind. Captain Augustine, is that good with you?
Sure. You've been very helpful.
All right, thank you.
So I gather up whatever tools I've found that I know I'm going to need for air scrubbers and start heading up to that deck.
And
So
I will coordinate.
On the Montero, you did have like essentially a flamethrower. I can't remember. Did you take that off?
I have a flame cutter.
Okay.
So,
All right, that'll work.
okay.
I mean, so a flame cutter is basically like a portable welding torch.
Gotcha.
But you would be able to, yes, you can do it with that.
Yeah, it's got four charges, I believe, still. So.
All right. And recall, you were in there before, so you kind of know where it's at. Additionally, you did, if I recall correctly, when you were looking in there, you did see some of those like fungal motes growing in some of the scrubbers.
I hit one and agitated it. It puffed out some stuff.
All right. So you two start heading down there. Johns and Clayton are staying up in the bridge. Reed kind of comes over. Well, actually, Captain Paul and Ernest, are you all going to go to the bridge, or where are you going? I missed that. I'm sorry.
Well, I offered my help to Coleman if he needs a strong hand.
I mean, I think just anybody from the Cronus can help. Captain, I mean, it's your call, obviously, but I think probably you're better served, out of there.
I'll go up and see if I can gain some override access to Mother on this ship.
Okay.
I wonder whether Marine Reed, I want to make sure that the engine area is secured where we had hostile activity before. I'm not competent to do any engineering work on it, but I'm happy to work with Marine Reed on making sure that area is clear and secure. From what I saw through the suit camera earlier, just cleaning up the engine room might move us toward it functioning. So if that is, if you think that's useful work, Captain Augustine, and Reed isn't needed elsewhere, or I'm not.
Are you asking him?
Yeah, is that a go, Captain Augustine?
Oh, sure.
All right. As long as Reed has an objection.
I have a question for Mother. I don't suppose the ship has any kind of display where I can see from the captain's station, where people are. Basically, I'm looking for this foreign object, this entity that has been bothering us. And I didn't know if there was some kind of map layout that had people on it that I could see.
No,
Okay,
there's nothing like that would show anything like that. The closest that you could do, if you, I can't remember if any of you have motion trackers, but if you had one of those, or if you could find one on the ship, that would probably be your best way, or monitoring the cameras.
Yeah, fair enough.
Dr. Powell, is it your opinion at this point that whoever attacked our crew member was in fact one of your crew that have been mutated and turned into something else, something apparently that doesn't die after 78 years, just lying on the floor? You're muted.
From what we saw, we were not able to study long enough the bursters that came out of the few of our crews. So if one did hatch out from the last couple of uncounted for crew members, we have no idea how long it could live. We could not really study them. We were in a, once the shit started hitting the fan, we were in a pretty quick state of retreat. I was working along with the senior researcher on the vaccine. And that's where our focus was, just to keep people from getting infected from those spores. That's all our focus.
Okay. You didn't find any way of killing whatever it was you created?
Well, we didn't create anything. This was a chemical that existed already. The spores created the mutation, from our understanding. We did find a way to kill the spores. We are pretty certain. Of course, we can never rate it at 100%, but from all of our experience, extreme temperature, fire, does kill the spores and those pustule sacs.
I have a problem. Do you have any of the vaccine that you've taken?
Yes, we have 6 doses left.
I may need it. I'm pretty low on oxygen.
Well, why don't, before we go that route, can we just go the route of getting more oxygen? There must be some spare tanks on our ship.
So there are ways to refill the suits, but it's not something that happens right away. You have to take the suit off in order to do it, and it takes about 10 hours. It takes a shift of work in order for it to refill.
So we have the one suit that my senior researcher was putting on, and he blew up. He died.
You'd be putting me in an infected suit.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the oxygen tank only. It's a separate detachable unit. What we could do is we could be refilling that. And then in 10 hours, we would have a canister for you. And then we could rotate it. We could then take your nearing empty canister out, and we could go through a 10-hour process of refilling. It would be lengthy. It would be cumbersome, but we could rotate your suits that way.
Yeah, I'm not sure I have 10 hours. I probably have about 1 hour.
Oh.
And as you're having this conversation, Johns says, all of you, at some point, all of our oxygen is going to run out. We're not going to be able to all stay in these suits forever. So we've been inoculated against this. And he kind of points to himself and Clayton. The rest of you have not. You need to take this vaccine.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, if the suit's going to come off, you have to take the vaccine. Otherwise, you'll end up like those others eventually. I mean, maybe not 100%. I'm not sure. Maybe the spores have not gone to some parts of the ship, but we don't currently have a way of scanning for them.
So as I'm going, I'm all comms. Captain, was Daisy compromised in a way that its air system was compromised? Can we send people into Daisy to have breathable air for a little bit?
That's not really what it was designed for.
Yeah. In fact, as the captain was flying it over, it's an old ship. There were leaks everywhere where the oxygen was just like leaking out. You could actually see the vapor going out into space.
You would also have to decontaminate the suits, because the suits could have a thin coating of them on.
Correct.
I'll be the guinea pig. I'll take the vaccine first. But I'll have to come to where Dr. Powell is, at least for temporarily.
Yeah. Well, I've headed over to Mr. Coleman's location to assist in identifying and destroying any infection in any of the spores in the air system.
Well, Dr. Powell, you were carrying the vaccine.
Yes,
when
correct.
you originally went up with everybody to get it. Are you taking the vaccine with you to go help clean the scrubbers, or would you have left it at the bridge?
Well, I don't like leaving all the eggs in one basket. I am the doctor, so I'll take half of them with me.
Okay.
And with my little medical pouch, with my hypo spray thing and my regular medical kit that I definitely need to find Harker at some point to help bandage him up. So yeah, I'll say half with the bridge, 3 doses, and then half with me.
Okay.
And it's relatively straight up. I'll jot down some instructions, basically leave it with the 3 hypo syringes on the bridge.
Well, is it one of those things that would be kind of obvious?
Yeah,
It's pretty straightforward.
Then I'll go to the bridge. I'll use
Okay.
one of those.
That's fine. Excellent.
Okay. So as you're traveling up there, Ernest, I'm sorry, where were you going to go with Reed?
To try to clean up the engine room. We saw before our crew member was attacked that just cleaning up some of the material in there seemed to improve its efficiency.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that nothing's going to kill us. And I want to just sort of, because I can't do anything technical, but I want to prepare the stage for that work to be done because I really want us to be in control of this vessel as soon as possible.
Okay. So you mean done in the reactor room? Where? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's going to take a little bit to get down there. As this happens, Herb and Dr. Powell, you make it down to the air scrubbers. Dr. Powell, like you said, you've got 3 of the vaccines with you. Because the air scrubbers are they in the same place? 1 second.
I think we accessed them from B through a
B?
vent. Yeah, through a vent.
That sounds right.
I think the only way on is up on.
It's on.
It was A because we were at the cryo, and then we had to go through a vent to get to him from A.
Yes, you're right. So that's nowhere near the room. I was trying to remember if everybody was going in the same direction. So you get there, start crawling into the shaft, and like before. You get into the air scrubber shaft, and it's like you saw previously, where 1 second, there is just a huge amount of like metallic air scrubbers just lining the walls. It's very, very, now that the engine, or not the engine, sorry, now that the power has kicked on, the scrubbers have started to work, even though they're at like maybe 10% efficiency. It is very loud in here. Additionally, how these work, where they are, the ship uses electrolysis to basically electrify these rods that are going up and down the air scrubber shafts. And so you need to be careful in here. Otherwise, you could get shocked as you're going through this. But it's going to take you a good shift of work in order to start clearing these out, even with Dr. Flynn helping you.
Yeah, so I think I'd take a moment and point out to Flynn what we're going to be doing, and don't touch this, make sure you're careful here. And then I kind of point out the spores that I saw, to start torching those as we go, but, just kind of laying out what we're going to be doing over the next 10 hours or so.
And we need to get over 1200 degrees Celsius. I'm hoping these torches can accommodate that.
I mean, I think they will. Yeah, they should easily get to that.
All right. So Herb, give me a heavy machinery roll, and you get to add an extra dice because Dr. Flynn is helping you. And again, add your stress dice to it as well.
Okay. I got 3 successes on regular dice, but one on the stress dice.
Okay. So go ahead and roll panic.
Okay. That is a 5 total.
All right. So it's menial work. And at a certain point, just everything just starts to get on your nerves, but you're able to keep it down. You said you rolled 3 successes?
Yes.
All right. So you definitely are going to be able to clean out the air scrubbers in time. You get 2 stunts, again, +1 to a later roll, half the time. The rest really don't apply other than show off.
I'll take half the time and +1 to another heavy machinery later.
Okay. So it's going to take you both about 2 to 3 hours to do this. So you're pretty much going to be dedicated to doing this for the next couple hours.
Yeah. Damn it, pal. No. Okay. You got to be careful there, pal. Unless you want to crisp yourself, be careful, please. Kind of wipe the sweat off of her. I was like, okay, geez.
And it's Dr. Powell, it is very hard to hear him. As he's doing that, at one point you think that he's actually telling you to go over to one of the spots, and you get to about really close to touch it, and he grabs your hand before you get.
No. Did you not hear what I said?
Sorry, it was garbled. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. I get it. I'm sorry. Just, I don't want you frying yourself, under my watch.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'll try to be even more careful.
All right. Harker and Reed, I'll get to you in a second. Captain Paul and Joe, and you're up in the bridge with Johns and Clayton. Captain, did you want to take the vaccine?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a stamina roll. You will just roll stamina. Actually, I think it's just stamina that you roll.
Stamina. Oh, there it is. I got 0 in stamina.
In stamina?
Yeah, there's nothing in stamina.
Stamina. All right. So stamina plus. Sorry, I forgot that stamina was a skill. So stamina plus strength plus stress.
I got 4. Oh, 2 6s and no 1s. No stress.
Awesome. All right. So you take the injection of the vaccine. You can feel it, kind of going through your body. It hurts. The site is sore, but nothing seems to happen. Not that you would expect it to. Joe, you're also up there. There are 2 more. Johns and Clayton are kind of looking at you expectantly, wondering if you're going to take the.
I'll wait and see how Cap handles it all. If I could have a word just for a minute, Captain.
Yeah.
And just kind of draw him aside. I think if you want to have any kind of conversations with Mother on the ship, it's missing the key. And I think I may have seen it swimming in black goo in the science lab.
Shit. There's no manual override, probably. Yeah. It's a high security area. I don't know how we're going to survive on this ship for 3 months, waiting for somebody to get here.
They don't have any idea what their supplies are like. We probably should check the mess hall and get an assessment of that.
Their supplies are 70 years old.
That's true.
Even canned food would be 70 years old.
So you do know from being on these ships that the captain or within the captain's chair would be the emergency access key for Mother. You also know that the company agents would have access to Mother as well. And the emergency access keys are pretty universal. So it's likely that Harker would also have access to it. And Harker, you would know this as well, obviously.
Just to put out there, not suggesting anything, but what would 1200 degrees do to these cards? Are they like just solid metal chunks and they'd withstand that, or are they plastic and just be melted?
No, they're metal. You are able to you find that you don't need to get it to that high of temperature because that would likely melt the metal. But when you bring the torch close enough to the moat, they basically burst into flame and then kind of fizzle away.
Okay.
So you are able to slowly start to get rid of them. However, it does take a while to do because you have to get pretty close, and it's slow going as you're doing that.
So I'm gonna check the captain's chair to see if I can find an access key.
You find where the access key used to be,
it's
not there.
And actually, Harker's key is 70 years newer. It might be. They might have changed coding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what's her name probably has one.
Yeah, if you wanna tackle Clayton, better you than me, I suppose. I'm worried this thing is still on the ship somewhere. And I've been kind of keeping an eye on the camera feeds that I'm seeing. I haven't seen anything. I don't know if we should have someone dedicated to watching that. I don't know.
I think once we get everything up and running, we have to purge the ship of anything that's like that. Because all we got left is the ship. We need to salvage this ship. We need to get paid.
What do you need me to do? What do you need me to do?
I trust that you know exactly what you're doing. And,
all right.
We got to get this ship up and moving.
Yeah.
What a shit show.
Tell me, I'm just glad you made it back. I was a little worried that that wasn't going to be the case.
Oh, you know me. Where is Clayton right now?
She's in the bridge. She and John are.
She's here.
Yeah, they're both in the bridge. I assume that you were kind of talking on your private comms. Yeah. They're both just kind of sitting around, looking around the room, trying to assess the damage. She is acting very impatient as well. She's obviously not happy. Got other things on her mind.
I'm going to go over to her and say, Miss Clayton, do you have an access key to the mother? I need access.
Yes. Why do you need to access mother?
Because we're going to get the ship up and going.
Well, we need to make the repairs in order for it to get up and going.
Mother needs this, and that. I need access.
Any access you need, you can do through the captain station.
Can I?
You can do so. You can't access you can't ask mother questions through the captain station like you could within the mother's room, but you can have her run diagnostics and things like that.
Right. But Miss Clayton, you don't seem to understand we are in a life and death situation here. Give me your access key.
I don't think you understand. You're not authorized to go in there. And she looks over at Johns and says, tell him. And Johns is kind of, he just shrugs.
You're talking about authorization from 70 years ago. This is now my ship. I've had to destroy my own ship because of something your ship did to my ship. By all celestial law, your ship is mine now.
She says, I don't know if I agree with that. The ship is the property of Weyland-Yutani, not
Weyland-Yutani,
which you are an employee of. And I'm sure that they will reward you well for bringing this back. However, until that time happens, you're not in charge. Johns is, unless he relinquishes control to you.
And I reach for my pistol and realize that it's missing. Fuck.
I'll toss you mine. If I see you reaching for it, I'll toss you mine. Here you go, Cap.
She tosses me hers. I'm going to put my gun to her head and say, hand me over your access key.
Lady, we're the only reason you're alive right now. You're welcome, by the way.
So you can use your command talent to...
Only on my own crew.
well, I would say that might apply here as well.
Okay.
If
pull
you
right
can,
now
so
on
let-
command.
if you can convince her to that you are the highest ranking officer, or John's that you're the highest ranking officer, then it would apply. And yes, I think that this would definitely be a manipulation roll against her. Actually, if you want, go ahead and roll manipulation if you want to try to convince either of them to do
Okay,
it.
I had 0 in manipulation, but I got 5 in empathy.
Plus
If you
your
bring
stress.
me in on comms, I can help.
And then what does pull rank do? Do I get extra?
Let me see. Is that your talent?
That's my talent.
Yeah, when the fighting started, I probably did a personal comm to Harker, like, we have a situation we may need your help with up here on the bridge.
Pull rank. You can use your command skill to order other non-officer PCs and NPCs around as long as they belong to the same organization as you. To force someone, roll command against the target's manipulation. If you are successful, they follow your order. However, your stress level increases by 1 each time you do this. So you are within the same organization as her, so you can use pull rank, and you will roll command against her manipulation if you'd like. All right, let me see what her manipulation is. It's gonna be high. Manipulation is empathy, right?
Yeah.
All right. What did you get?
Out of 8 dice, nothing.
So
No ones, but
your stress did go up by 1. You try to kind of command her this. She gets really frazzled, and however, she does not relent. I will tell you, just this is probably metagaming a little bit. She got 2 successes.
I can't believe I got none.
That's how this works.
Private comms to the captain. Cap, I already told Harker he might need to come up. Just might be best to let it go for now. I don't know.
Is it that Clayton woman?
Yeah, we don't have the key to mother, and we need comms to her.
And she's intransigent. She yeah, okay.
She's being withholding.
Yeah. I've been seeing if my access key works on this ship, access key card. And am I correct, Mother, that my access key card is effective, even though like it's a much newer but more powerful version, so it's okay. All right, I don't want to leave. So are Reed and I having any effect cleaning things off in the reactor? How is that? I don't want to leave anybody down here to get their head crushed, but
So you would have gotten down there right about this time, the time this started to happen, and would have started cleaning.
Okay.
Well, if you want to, Harker, I can come down there, meet you, get it from you. Did I hear Coleman right? Did you get hurt? Do you need some medicine or something?
Oh yeah, I mean, I got clunked in the shoulder with something. I'm fine.
Okay. All right. Well, I can meet you down there. Grab from you if you like.
Yeah, I don't want you traveling down through the ship alone either. I don't until we locate all possible unfriendlies.
True.
I think, and I think the captain backed me up that we should be at least in pairs. If you can wait half a shift to get better access to Mother, or I could try to talk sense into Clayton if there's anything in her skull except for ambition. She's got 70 years of pay that I have access to controlling whether she gets or not. I mean, it's only halftime, but I'm sure she wants it.
It's your call, Cap. I don't know.
Oh, well, I was thinking if this were cinematic and in a movie, I would have lifted my gun back up like this and then punched her square in the face. But instead, I'm so stressed right now. I'm going to go hand my gun to Josephine.
Have a seat, Cap. Have a seat. We'll have it. Go sit in the chair. We'll get it handled.
I mean, if you guys
Parker and I will sort it.
If you could keep Johns and Clayton busy just like cleaning up the melted panels and
that does need to happen.
Frayed wiring, then maybe they'll like be busy and quiet for a little while, like other children. And to be fair to them, they've been on ice for 70 years. They might not even be fully on board yet. You know, they might be quite reasonable, and if they have a day of actual oxygen. So yeah, I'm prepared to put like the shift that they're doing in the air scrubbers down here in the reactor chamber and see. I mean, again, lights were coming on when we first started to clean things up down here. I want to see, there was some kind of barricade we saw on the screens when that was first visited. Is there anything like furniture was piled up in a corner?
Yeah. So when you get down there, it looks like, something had like tore up a bunch of furniture and built like almost like a bizarre nest in one corner of the room. There's just like a lot of furniture and debris just kind of piled up. Basically, yeah, in a corner. There's this like yellowish white resin covering most of the chamber in here, and that's what you're really cleaning up as you start to kind of like chip away at this resin that slowly starts to bring things back online.
So I'd like to read to assess that barricade/nest situation over there, and if we need to break that up with extra arms on hand. I mean, she knows more about the infestation than I do. I do not want a crushed head. This is very precious to me.
So she looks at it and kind of tells you, look, I haven't seen anything like this before. It's when we were with all the crap that was going on before, none of that was like this.
And is the furniture like pasted together with this goop?
No, not really. No, the resin is really just around everything else, along the walls and things like that. This stuff is actually pretty clear from it.
All right, I'm gonna open comms again and share camera. So we're cleaning up the panels down here, and occasionally something twitches back online. We're making progress. I don't really want to turn my back through this pile of junk. And we don't have any kind of, maybe Powell, do you have any idea? Can you assess the danger of, I can only hear like a screaming of metal on his comm.
Yeah. Coleman and Powell, they can't really hear much over the comms. This is way too loud.
Judgment call, Captain. Do you think we should try to clear this area up just to make sure there's nothing hiding in there, or like a bunch of, I don't know, like a nest of Cooper's head monsters?
Be extremely careful.
All right. So if I have Reed behind me with the shotgun ready, and I just take one piece at a time off and move it away. I mean,
what are you trying to get at?
I'm trying to make sure there's nothing in there that's going to, as soon as we like are both busy scraping the scoop off, that's actually helping the machinery. Like, I don't want something to jump out and, I don't know, crush my head. That's what I don't want. I want this precious egg intact.
Yeah, be very careful. The first sign of anything weird, get the fuck out of there.
Okay. All right. I consider that authorization unless somebody's got a better idea. We'll go ahead with that. And then we'll keep with regular cleanup.
Okay. Yeah, you start doing that. I'm sorry, Joe, where were you headed? Or were you did you end up staying up in the bridge?
It sounded like Harker was just going to make his way up. If Captain, are you okay with waiting?
Yeah.
Okay, until he's done. All right.
Okay. So you, Captain and Joe, you both are just kind of staying up in the bridge, doing things. If you want, I will count this as you resting, and you can remove another point of stress. The rest of you are kind of working through everything. Ernest, you are able to kind of dismantle that. It takes you, because you're trying to dismantle it all. Some of the stuff was just like really shoved in there. So it takes you a good hour or so to clean that up. And then you start to getting on the resin, and the resin on the walls, once you start working on that only takes you like maybe a half an hour to get that. And once that happens, the reactor comes back up to about 80% power, which is probably the highest it's going to get without full repairs. There is a radiation leak in there. Your suit is protecting you from that, but there is a radiation leak, and so you're going to need like some major repairs beyond what you can do within here. Herb and Dr. Flynn, both of you are in there working on everything. Actually, let me ask. So everybody is still keeping their suits on, right?
Yeah.
All
Yes.
right. Give me another roll. Another air supply roll, I mean.
Still good. No
Lost
ones.
an hour.
Joe, what are you down to?
I'm down to 2.
Okay.
Hey, no ones that time. So I'm
So-
still at 2.
All right.
As I'm working, as I'm scrubbing, just yelling over comms to Pal. Did you lose something, Pal?
How many air did my suit start with? Since I got a different suit, I don't think I ever got that number.
Oh, you're right. I probably never gave that to you. We'll say 4.
4. Okay, thanks. I need to roll one more die. Okay, cool. Still good.
All right.
So as I'm scrubbing, just yelling over comms as we take a short break, to rest our arms, like as Pal is blasting one of those balls. Like, so what is this shit again? I mean, what are these things? And is this what made that thing bust out of that guy's face?
In a roundabout way, yes. This spore here, these sacs produce these spores, and if you inhale them, it causes a mutation to start in the body. And if left running amok, it will end up festering into a burster. We've nicknamed them.
And you brought this stuff up from the planet you were on?
Yeah, we had samples on board just in the science bay. We did not realize at the time the infection was very slow rate. So it had infiltrated the science module security already. And then by the time we realized that was getting out of hand, that's when we evacuated and then decided to eject the module for our own safety. But it spread so quickly, much faster than we had realized, that it ended up infecting some of the crew members on board. That's what we were rushing to complete the vaccine. And that's how we sort of halted it, but it had already taken its toll on our crew of 17.
And this shit was just growing like on this planet you were on? Or, I mean, like, was it native to it?
Mother, could I have my memory accessed a little better?
I'm sorry. What was the question again? What were
what the spores or whatever native? Did they seem native to this planet they were on?
They were on the planet. Yes. You were not part of the biological team to assess that. If they were native,
yeah.
I mean, so you're going through, you're kind of having this conversation. As this is going on, you're kind of getting close to the end. About 2 hours have passed. Back up in the bridge, Johns and Clayton are kind of there. Clayton is again, not happy with what happened. And so, as this is going on, you all are just kind of doing your own thing. Harker, you get done with what you wanted to do. You are able to clean everything up and start heading back.
Joe, we seem to be at 80%. If that matches what you've got, we're going to need to send a team down for better radiation shielding. But Reed and I are coming toward the bridge unless Captain has a better idea.
Cap, that okay
I'm
with
sorry,
you?
what was your question?
We're going to move back up to the bridge.
All right.
Reed and I, keeping eyes out. We've done as much as we can do by the reactor.
Yeah.
All right. You start heading up to the room, to the bridge. Captain, when you kind of started to daze and just not go in and out of consciousness or anything like that. You're just kind of, it's been a long day, you're exhausted, and you kind of look around and you realize that Joe is not in the room with you anymore. Herb and Dr. Powell, go ahead and make observation rolls at a -2. So remove two dice from the total pool.
Include our stress dice as well.
Yes.
So -2 and then plus the stress dice. Okay.
Yes.
No successes, no ones on stress dice.
Okay.
1, 6, no ones.
Awesome. And so you are, let's see here. You are in the air scrubbers, just kind of finishing up. Herb, you're going through and you are double checking everything, making sure things are good. Dr. Powell, you are kind of doing the same thing. You're looking around. You are making sure that there aren't any of those kind of like fungal moats anywhere. When you're kind of start looking up the shaft, and the shaft goes the entire length of the ship, not length. Height of the ship. Where you're at in deck what is it, A? Deck A. Most of it is below you. There's basically like far down below you, probably starting around deck C or so. There is a shaft of water, and then it goes up to the top of the ship from where you're at. So it probably goes a good maybe like 20 or 30 feet above you. Dr. Flynn, you're looking and you notice that there's some movement somewhere in kind of the darkness above. There's no lights really in here. Other than what's coming from your helmet, but towards the top, you notice that just for the briefest of seconds that you thought you saw some movement.
Oh, I take a step towards Herb and tap him on the shoulder, pointing up, and then over the comms, something moved up there. Something moved up there. I'm sure of it.
Over the rest of the comms. All you hear is Flynn, his voice just barely coming in, but you just hear the loud machinery. Ernest, as you are making your way back towards the bridge, is there any particular way that you wanted to go, or are you just kind of heading up there?
I think I would actually have Reed suggesting the most efficient and safest route. So front and her behind with her shotgun handy.
Okay, so she suggests going around kind of the starboard right side of the ship.
Yep,
starboard right. The starboard side of the ship, because that's where the least amount of damage happened. Just in case something happens with the areas that were where the explosions happened. This way takes you along where the mess hall is. Because it's on that side of the ship on deck B. So as you're walking past the mess hall, you just kind of instinctively glance in, and you can see the mess hall is just there isn't a better description of it. It is just a mess. There are food stores just all over the place. The food has been left rotten and exposed. There's regular mold that has kind of covered it from years and years and years of just sitting there. It looks like that there is just all damage everywhere. It's just a huge mess. But you also see kind of lying near one of the table in the center of the room, these 2 feet sticking out. And you can it's a little bit unusual because they're definitely human feet. Probably female, but they look normal, not like the bodies you have seen lying around the ship.
Are they the color of living flesh?
They are.
Reed, can you see this?
Reed looks at you. As you glance back to her, you can see that her face is kind of a little bit red, more reddish than normal. But she looks at it, the feet, and says, "Yeah, that almost looks like Ava. Her feet. She always wore those pants and those shoes."
Universal comes. We may have found the synthetic in the mess hall. We're going to take a shortcut. I'm going to leave sound open as we go in carefully.
Be careful.
You got it, Captain. Again, I think, Reed, you better be behind me with the shotgun, and I've got the pistol out. Press in.
All right, so you start walking in. As you get closer, you notice the way that the mess hall is set up, it's a decent sized room. There's one very long table with chairs all around it, and then behind on the far side of the wall is kind of like the kitchen area with the food stores, and that's where most of the mess is. As you get closer, you can see this woman lying on the ground. She looks to be in her 20s. Because she's not like decomposed or anything like that. As you get closer, you can see her fully, and you can even see where her head is. There is a white milky liquid that has kind of spread out and dried all around it, which is a telltale sign of a synthetic.
Yeah, we found the synth, folks. I don't know that we're gonna need. I think she's gonna need some work. And also, we don't have a lot of food.
You also notice that on the table are a number of like origami animals that somebody has made out of metal at some point, like folded. There's like dozens of these. Going back to Herb and Dr. Flynn. Dr. Flynn, you are backing. So you were backing towards Coleman and kind of pointing. Coleman, you look up. And it's darkness there. But as you both are looking up there, you see this head start to appear out of the darkness. It is this smooth, eyeless head that looks elongated and pointed as it kind of emerges from the darkness about 10 or so feet above you. Its mouth, its upper jaw protrudes out, exposing these rows of sharp teeth. Both of you take a stress. Ernest, as you are going and looking at Ava, you hear this loud crash and commotion behind you. You spin around instinctively and see Reed standing over you. Her face is now even more red than it was even a couple seconds ago. She has taken one of the chairs and just thrown it across the room. She's holding her shotgun in one other hand and is just breathing heavily and looks at you and says, "You are not supposed to be here." And with that, we're going to stop for today.
Our players included David Gassaway, Holly Buteau, Kent Blue, Stuart Lipley, and myself with Tyler Hudak as Mother. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members. You can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the dark future and the alien role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.